What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's Kyle from K Capital, finally back from our honeymoon in Tahiti. Had a nice 2-week break. It was absolutely fantastic. We went to Moorea for 5 days, then we went to Bora Bora for 5 days. Highly recommended. If you have not been, definitely take the opportunity to go if you can. It's well worth it, to say the least. With that, it's definitely important to get, refreshed, energized. It's one of the key things that, I think is important to a trader is to take a step back at least once or twice a year just to kind of regroup and refresh. And, with that, we're going to hit the ground running Monday. We got to, get the ball rolling to find some more winners. So, with that, let's take a quick recap of where we're at, inception to date. Again, this is a quick calculator just to show potentially what you would be up if you invested with us. From our inception back in November of 2013. So hypothetically, $25,000 would now be roughly $45,000. We're sitting at an 81% realized return since inception. Our average hold time is 18 days. And I think the key takeaway here is, our Sharpe ratio is 5.2, which is extremely, extremely good. What that basically means is if you took all the risk factors of variance, standard deviation, you can calculate a Sharpe ratio of 5.2, which is extremely, very, very good comparative to a lot of the other, fund managers out there in terms of what a typical fund manager would result, and look for in terms of their Sharpe ratio. It kind of quantifies the risk that people take, when they look to see, okay, let's compare fund manager 1 versus fund manager 2. So with that, that's where we're sitting at currently, which is fantastic, and we're definitely proud of that. But more importantly, let's kind of get to where we are in terms of the technical analysis on the current markets. And currently what I'm looking at is the Russell 2000. Right now, if we want to take a look at where we're at as of last week, I think one key thing that we saw at the beginning of, June is that we saw a nice break above the 13 EMA. We saw a nice break and bounce off the 50 Williams indicator, as well as a break through the 50 RSI 9. So what that tells us is the momentum is definitely forward in the sense that we're trading now above the 200-day moving average. We tested that point back at the end of May, and we broke through that. So I think on the Russell 2000 side, it's something that I'm watching diligently because we're slowly getting to the point of being overbought. That said, I still think it's a good indicator that the 200-day moving average has held. So I think it's something to where we're going to be long any of the potential watch list stocks that I'll get to in a minute. We'll definitely look to be long in the small cap space. Now that said, one thing that I'm keeping an eye on is I don't necessarily think we can say the same thing about the larger cap Dow industrial stocks. And the reason being is if we want to take a look and maybe back out a little bit more in the time frame to the 1 yearly chart, what we can see is, we haven't necessarily broken new highs. We are trading above the 200-day moving average, but if you look closely, the Williams indicator as well as the RSI is pointing and trending down. Similar to what happened in November and December of 2015, we're starting to see a very similar pattern to where we're trading downward in terms of we're not making new highs in the price action. We were oversold or overbought in both of the indicators we follow very closely, and now we're starting to trend down. So I think we do break eventually in the next couple of days, if not weeks, at the 200-day moving average, and so subsequently we'll be short anything in this space for the next couple of days. And again, our members get a full list in terms of the watch list stocks that fit both of these criteria, whether it's long and or short. So it's something that I think we're going to watch closely. Our members will have the watch list ahead of time, and it's something that I think, you got to be careful in this type of market because we're either going to trade sideways or down in the large cap space, and I think that's going to eventually feed into the small cap space. With that, though, we have 3 specific stocks that we're watching for Monday's open. One of those I'll get to in a minute. The other that we've been in for now roughly, I think, 4 weeks is SIEN. So right now this is coming out of a nice pattern in the sense that, we're definitely oversold at this point. We saw some nice consolidation at 6 and it's continuing to hold. We filled the gap back from January, which is nice. And what we're really looking for now is a pop above the 50 RSI as well as a pop above the 70 Williams indicator to finally conclude with a pop above the 13 EMA. And what I mean by that is what we want to see is the momentum shift, away from this downward trend where we traded below the 13 EMA and subsequently traded from 8 all the way down to 550, and really make a similar pattern to what we did back in December of 2015, to where we'll see volume come in like we did Thursday of last week. We saw a nice bullish candle where we traded above the 13 EMA, and we're starting to slowly test that again. Once we break that, I think we could easily test 7 to 750 again. So I think this is the type of position that technically it's still supporting a long thesis, as well as fundamentally, which I have gotten into many times with our specific members, to give them a fundamental analysis of why this is definitely an undervalued position. So I will not be going through that again right now, but that said, it's something that I think we should be watching out for Monday's open. And finally, on our dashboard, here's one of the positions that our members would see. Again, USAT is one that I think we're going to definitely look to go long in. And let's go through that real quickly. So USAT's something that popped up on our scans 2 weeks ago now. We saw a buy signal come through at the bounce on the 200-day moving average. Knowing I was going to go on away with my honeymoon, I didn't want to open a new long position. Travel time to Tahiti was probably 24 hours door to door, so it's not something to where I wanted to be long a new position in. That said, I told members about this right around the 360 to 380 range. I know a few people went long there without our alert, so congrats to those, considering now it's up roughly probably 75 cents since that time. That said, there's still a buy signal as of Friday's close. We continue to trade up the 13-day moving average in the attempt to test this high range here of 460. If you look, last time that we saw our specific trading signals all cross at the same time was right around this point at 3.2 to 3, and we just took off from there all the way up to 4.6. So it's something I think we're going to look to go long in, along with 2 other watch list plays that's basically fit this pattern exactly. So this is definitely something that I think is going to be very profitable for us in the next couple days. I highly suggest people take a look at our memberships. We continue to grow, and right now we're offering 25% off. Just use the coupon code MONEY, M-O-N-E-W, or U-I, excuse me. Still jet lagged a little bit, so can't really spell for the time being, to get 25% off. And again, you'll get more winners like this. Just to recap, we're up 81% since inception, so it's pretty much all audited. We were reviewed by trading schools and several other alert services, so it kind of speaks for itself that we know what we're doing. But that said, we will definitely look to send out alerts, live alerts via email and text and Twitter. So hopefully we'll see you guys in our community and chat rooms over the next couple of days, and we will talk soon again. Have a great Sunday, and we will talk tomorrow.